Welcome to the John Peel Wingding, seats in all parts. It's remarkable, isn't it, how quite small things can set you up for a while. Janice made me a cup of tea, all unprompted, earlier this evening. Had someone on the switchboard phone to ask how my cold was. It's a great deal better, thank you. Tonight we have sessions for you from Midnight Choir, their first verse, and This Poison. These are the Stupids.
No drugs, no smoking, stay straight.
Those are the Stupids, and that's a track from the LP Jesus Meets the Stupids, and that's called Skid Row. And here's a kind of pig encourager.
Let
And that's from the LP True Jit, of course, the Bundu Boys and Dirt Say. And as far as I'm concerned, in last year's Festive 50, they should have had something like, 7 or 8 of the top 10 positions anyway. And will they be in this year's Festive 50? Well, you can find out, dear listener, when we start broadcasting it on next Tuesday night's programme. And why does the pig need an encourager? Well, it's because those of you who follow the saga of my car over the past year or so, it just gets more and more bizarre all the time. Got a new one, new to us, a sort of second-hand car, and it's broken down 3 times in the last 5 days. And the first time, I had to go and wait for the AA people to turn up, which they did very promptly. But I was standing there in my pyjama trousers and bedroom slippers and things in the dusk, and just standing watching the car, and because obviously there's not much I can do, not being a technical bloke, and one of the tyres just deflated while I watched it. So I was able to amuse myself waiting for the AA bloke by changing the tyre in, it's about an inch, I'd say, of a composition of kind of mud and horse dung. I mean, it was a lot of fun, I can tell you that. And it's broken down again twice today. Terrific stuff. So, as I say, she needs encouraging, and hopefully that will have done it, or gone some way towards doing it anyway. From the Midnight Choir, the first from them in session, and the producer, or somebody, has written at the top of the session sheet here, Noisy Young Madcaps. Midnight Choir, this is Idle. That's Matt on drums, Simon on bass, Nick on guitar, Duncan on guitar and what's described as Farfisa thing, and Ziggy on vocals. Session produced by Dale Griffin, engineered by Mike Robinson and Martin Colley. That's the Midnight Choir, their first session for us. And if you were listening closely to what was being said or some of the things that were being interjected there was such a group as the John Peel Boot Boys at one time, and about 10 or 15 years ago, all nice middle-class lads, of course, and probably now ruthless young bandits in the city. Here's something for Walters, if he's listening. He'll like this.
Somebody sure cut through that fence, all right.
Master, oh master, how could one become a great DJ and rock the music of the past with a touch of today?
Grasshopper, one should learn from the mistakes of others and seek knowledge and wisdom from a rap music lover. Now, son, start smiling, 'cause we're taking you on a trip to Fantasy Island. And son, I want you to bust this.
Now, Grasshopper, taking something from the past with scratches and cuts of today. This jam from 1969 would have been done this way.
Oh master, that's great.
Now, Grasshopper, picture this. You're one step beyond the twilight zone, and someone just entered into your club. Now they're depending on you to pump up the value and somewhat leave their frustration in the streets as they jam to your funky beats. Now, to ensure yourself that you can do this, one must throw out some ole olas and let the record respond first. Then the crowd will follow. I'll show you. Bust the move.
Yeah, okay.
Ola, ola, ola. 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 Ola, ola. Elementary, my dear boy. Elementary. Now, in order to keep the girls screaming and creaming, you must change the groove and keep the move. I'll show you. I finished my mission. I dropped the mic and kept the posse hyped. But one thing before I go, I must warn you that some may call this a DJ lesson or an MC schooling. But they all agree, once it's running, you'll be cooking and steady ruling. So keep the faith.
Master, before you go, tell me, how do I make money doing this?
Once you start illin', you'll get paid and even knock some boots. Now get behind the wheels of steel. Try it.
I messed up.
Try it again. You'll be illin'.
Master, I'm ready for sure now. What's that word? I'm illing. I'm ready to knock some boots. I'm hyped now, master. What's this? Did you catch it, master? Now watch me change the groove.
Not bad. Not bad.
Master, I could even rock the mic now.
No,
I'm ready.
no,
I can
Grasshopper,
rock the mic and keep the people
don't
hyped.
rap. No,
I'm ready now,
no.
master.
You're messing
I
up
ain't
now.
no joke.
You're
What's
trying
the
to break my
move?
wing.
Bust it.
Trying to get away
Bust
now.
it.
No,
Listen to me
don't
now,
rap.
master.
Get away from the mic.
Listen.
Don't rap.
Superstar Amar is
Oh,
now
man.
qualified to make the party stay alive. Look at this.
You can call me at Beechwood 45789, and
Don't
I'll rock
believe
the
it.
party any old time. Don't forget to tap on 1212, please, if you're calling from out of New York
Man.
City.
Oh, I'm out of here.
What's the matter? Did I do something wrong? What did I do wrong? You don't like that?
Superstar Amar featuring JB Rock, and that's called Grasshopper Meets the Master. And let's knock some more boots.
Some will say I'm bad, some will say I'm dumb, some will think we're cool, some will say I'm bums. If I know I've seen something, then one day it will grow. People that watch it out and tell it where we're going. God damn it, it's only I can understand. God damn it, it's you better read me out of me. We like the operas, we like the relief, we like TV shows. Now, we know what I know, we like these real big control check and all that stuff. But without our music, that would never be enough. Don't get me, it's only I can only see. Don't get me, she made a room beside me. Some will say we're dirty, some will say we're dumb, some will think we're cool, some will say we're dumb. If I know that team song, then one day it will grow. People that watch it out and tell it where we're from. God damn it, it's all that I can only see. God damn it, she made a remix out of me.
Already had a letter or two about this one from the Hickoids. It's not in the shops yet, even in America, is my understanding of it. The LP is called We're In It For The Corn, the Hickoids, as I say, from Austin, Texas. And that one was called Contaminated. And just yesterday I got the latest issue of Debris number 9, is it? I forget. I'll have a look while I'm playing you this, which is from the Flexi Disc, which features tracks from King of the Slums and from some people styling themselves Moist. This is The Cut Up.
Ready.
Input quotations and translations. To output quotations and translations. You can see that although both are rotations, the input is continuous, whilst the output oscillates.
Debbie was at the time when I arrived, seen completely across the road and right down the ramp. Anybody that's buried in impacted debris for 5 and 7 debris, obviously going to be very, very soft indeed. Debris.
And that's from the latest issue of Debris magazine. As I say, not number 9 at all. That's what it says. It says Deb 9. I think that must be the catalogue number of the flexi disc or something. But it's issue 16. How silly of me. And there's a Mark E. Smith interview in there. The definitive guide to Manchester rap. Stuff on Twang, who we must book for another session if we haven't already done it. The Stone Roses, the Heartthrobs, and a great deal more, of course, as there always is. And the address for Debris I will give you after this, which comes from Negative Land again. And that was Moist, incidentally, in the cut-up. And the other track on there is by King of the Slums, which I'll play you next week. If I get the chance, that is, of course. You know, I'm going to be very busy next week, at the start of the Festive 50. But Negative Land, and from the LP Escape from Noise, this is Quiet, Please. It's another one that fades in, rather.
Just a minute. I can't hear a thing. Quiet, please. Quiet, please.
Is there any escape from noise?
Oh, there's so much noise. I can't hear the music.
Is there any escape from noise?
What orchestra is this?
Is there any escape?
Is there any escape from noise?
There may well not be, I think. Negative Land, and that's from the LP Escape from Noise. And one or two citizens have made inquiries about that record as well, which comes from Recommended Records. It's actually on Rec Records of, I think, basically in Switzerland. I never fully understand the arrangements that they have, but Recommended Records are the people to track down, anyway. And that track's called Quiet, Please, and the address for Debris is 48 Princess Street, Manchester M1 6HR. That's 48 Princess Street, Manchester M1 6HR, and it's 60 pence, and one assumes the traditional, fairly large, stamped addressed envelope as well. And a good read, as always. The first from this Poison, and they sent me a charming letter explaining that St Johnston, which is the number that I'm about to play you, isn't anything to do with the football team of the same name. In fact, it is spelt differently. I'd spotted that, I must confess, but I thought it was just a whimsy of theirs. I forget what they said it is about, but it's not about the football, anyway.
It's such a funny thing to jump on a train without saying a thing. A strange affair to do it for the fair. It's such an exciting thing. Watch your time's over.
rhythm sticks and you guess the tunes.
Mazongwe ndasangana naye mtu mwanzi Emelia kuna mumwe musi ndichiva zvangu kumazongwe ndasangana naye mtu mwanzi Emelia kuna Emeli wangu Emelia mwana wa ndai Emeli wangu Emelia mwana wa ndai Emeli wangu Emelia mwana wa ndaia Emeli wangu Emelia mwana wa ndaida Usikwelima unogara nani Emelia dai waraira Emeli Usikwelima unogara nani Emelia dai waraira Emeli.
Forthcoming from the Marxist brothers on Disca Freak, and that's called Emily, approximately, although it's spelled Emile. And our Andy seems to have lost his Marxist brothers LP and is grieving considerably as a result. From the McAllisters from Bristol, this is Terry and June Will Eat Themselves, a consummation devoutly to be wished.
Streamline, Chris
remind you of anyone at all, does it? That's the McAllisters from Bristol, from a 5-track 12-inch EP, and that's called Terry and June Will Eat Themselves. Comatose Caligula calls the shots. And speaking of Andy, on his programme at this time tomorrow night, he's going to be playing his choice of the best releases of 1987. And occasionally when I'm going through old records of mine, which I don't often get the chance to do, not really as much as I would like to, I find something that I think to myself, actually that is very Andy indeed. And here's a track that last weekend I decided was very Andy.
Cause I won't be long. I won't tell you about the beat on Rampart Street. They got a 5-piece band called Fat Man Sound. Lord have mercy, I mean yes ma'am, when they play that beat on Rampart Street. Now my old lady love my uncle so because they still do the boogie like years ago. When they hear that beat on Rampart Street, yes they do now. Yeah, baby. They called grandma to marry her young grandson. And when you hear that beat on Rampart Street, we got one old brother by the name of Crippley Jones. Dropped his crutches and they walked right on. And when they heard that beat on Rampart Street, hey Jones, when you get in town? Yeah, sure enough. Don't go ahead, you ain't got no sense of what I mean that beat on Rampart Street. Now when I die, don't you bury me a tall, just preserve me round in alcohol and let me hear that beat on Rampart Street. Till all night long, let me hear the band moan, nice and easy, soft and sweet, head to the beat on Rampart Street.
Very Andy or not. That's from an LP called Fast and Funky on the Blue Goose record label. Larry Johnson and the beat from Rampart Street. As you can probably tell if you're listening carefully, I'm having some trouble breathing. Actually, this is to do with this cold that I seem to have developed. And I was going to say something about it, but I keep coughing up what appear to be portions of my lungs. But I shall press on with the show. These are the Sewer Zombies.
was easy. I'm sure it's Three Blind Mice.
Let's sing it.
Operation World Domination is a projection of this conception. On the right attention, every fresh generation. Nuclear weapon on out of the west. We are Omega Defcon 2, the all-new heavy metal crew.
Gimme devil, gimme devil.
Starring in theater, and all of ya. Like a bat out of hell. He's public preordained, ordained the God of heavy metal. He's the Lord of the Rings.
We would never, ever strike first.
Unquote. Who cares who strikes first? Point. Either way, we're dust to dirt. Counterpoint. We must destroy our newfound nuclear tools, for there was never a weapon made that has not been weapon used. Flush our enemy bare. That's all we goddamn hear. U.S. Eagle has no fear. Prepare your child for warfare. Yo, chill with all that nuclear. There's smoke off these women and children all over the world. You know what I'm saying? Word. Huh. Word. Huh. Take heed, Russians are our best brothers too. Don't let the U.S. news propagandize you. It's the government of Russia who are saying true. The people have no say. The Kremlin is the rule. I understand. Listen up, Pakistan. 6,000 years. Man can't govern man. We need guidance from the one of the ball, the one true leader. Jah, the God of the. Not only God is perfect, but we all must try to live together, or together we die. We must destroy our newfound nuclear tools, for there was
Extraordinary record, that. That comes from Omega Defcon 2, from wherever it was I said it was before, somewhere small in Connecticut, and that was called Death Nation. Before that, actually quite a long time ago now, some 6 minutes ago, the Sewer Zombies from their new LP, Conquer the Galaxy. The only track on the LP that's not written by them, written by a member of the Go-Go's, and that was called Capture the Light. Back with our guests in session, the Midnight Choir, Balsa Wood Bob. Hello. Oh, sorry, pressing the wrong button, beg your pardon. Someone sure cut through that fence all right. That's Midnight Choir in session, their first session for the programme. Balsa Wood Bob is the title of it. On Monday night's programme, Festive 50 starts on Tuesday, let me remind you of that. But on Monday night, we have sessions from Aha. Well, no, we don't have sessions, aha, quite clearly. We have a session, that was an expression of surprise because it doesn't say here. I remember why now. But anyway, it'll be jolly good, you can be sure of that. Bill Black's Combo. Do It Right Now is the title of that, Bill Black's Combo. And speaking of aha, do you remember them, do you? That's, who was the Long, Dagmar, Pomfret, and the one whose name we could never remember? This Poison in session, Driving Skills.
Seems to me, just follow the latest trends. Hide in the camera, soft in the lens. You'll make lots of friends. Oh, it seems to me, just back to the time looks so mean. Your screen up into the silver screen. These dreams were never seen. If you turned ideal, just has been.
I wish I could find that letter they wrote me, because I think it mentioned one or two entertainments with which they're involved in the immediate future. This Poison, and driving skills. And I'm hoping to use the Christmas and New Year period as much as possible, really to sort out the chaos that is Peel Acres, to get some demo tapes heard and to sort out the unanswered mail and the unread fanzines and so forth, and perhaps even do a little painting and decorating. So, I think that's what Christmas is for, frankly. Unseen Terror and the title track from the track that's named the eponymous track, as they always say in the music weeklies, which is also Unseen Terror, therefore fairly logically. I particularly care for the guitar playing on this because it sounds like some very large and unreasonable and very angry insect. Unseen Terror, and the LP is called Human Error. See what I mean about that guitar playing? Unseen Terror by Unseen Terror from the LP Human Error on Earache Records, Mosh 4. And the title of the next number I'm going to play you is Sanu Ashcan Nu. Ashcan is spelled on this occasion A-S-H-Q-U-A-N, but it's still Ashcan by any standards that I can apply anyway.
तेरी अल्लड़ जवानी दूजी
ਆਸ਼ਿਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੱਸ ਕੇ ਬੁਲਾਉਣਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਲੈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਸ਼ਿਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੱਸ ਕੇ ਬੁਲਾਉਣਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਲੈ
I can memorize everything I want to remember because of my calm, relaxed self-assurance.
Well, these programmes getting smart or what? My Bloody Valentine, that is, and Claire from the LP Ecstasy. Before that, it was Azad, A-Z-A-A-D, and Sano Ashkan Nu. Now, half Japanese, and this is from the LP Music to Strip By. Big Mistake.
I took too much for granted, but everybody does that. I thought I knew, and now I know I haven't given well today. I just thought of me, and now I just think of her. I had eyes, but I could not see what I should have saw. If I could just turn back the hands of time, I bet I could really make it big in Las Vegas and buy you a lot of stuff. Yeah, but I guess I should have thought of that sooner. I took too much for granted, and that's my big mistake.
And that's another one that's... Oh, seconds too late. That's another one that's available courtesy of the Rhythm Bandits at Recommended Records. Half Japanese, and that's Big Mistake, and it comes from the LP Music to Strip By. And a note from my friend William, no relation, asking if I would say Happy Xmas to Anna Pettywood, and lots of love and kisses, says William. He's the kind of bloke who'd just walk up to you and say, hey, yo.
Hey, yo, there are 8 million rap records out in the city. This is not just another one.
Beaver, beaver, here's a story about the day. Wow! Beaver, good, take a step. Now get it now, brothers. We need to pray. Wow! Come down.
Well, I think I'd have to agree with you if you're sitting there saying there's an awful lot of Casey and the Sunshine Band about that one. It's DJ Todd 1, though, on Cut Up Records. That's the way I cut, the radio mix edit, and it does at least credit the composers of the various of the Casey and the Sunshine Band stuff. And while I was listening to that, actually, I was talking on the phone to the pig, having played her a kind of pig encourager earlier on this evening because of all the problems that we've had with the car. And she said at the very moment that I was playing her that, our dog weed all over her shoe. So this is, after this, there'll be another pig encourager. And this, appropriately enough, is by Midnight Choir in session tonight. And it's called Pigman, a complete coincidence. Well, I never. This is some of the music from Cold Comfort, performed by the middle school that Al William and Alexandra go to. Music by Simon Clover, words by Ian Crystal. Not much evidence of Ian's work in this. And sleeve to the cassette by William Wordsley and William Ravenscroft. This is James Brown.
Baby, give it up, turn it loose.
That's James Brown from the LP In the Jungle Groove. Give it up. or turn it loose. And in just a moment, another number from our guests in session tonight, This Poison. But first...
Ladies and gentlemen, this week on My Top 10, it really is the last resort. My guest is...
Mr. Jonathan Ross.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Suitably attired.
Thank you very much. It's a lovely sweatshirt you have on there, but does it go with the pink shorts, Andy?
With 10 records, I hope.
With 10 records, certainly.
A multiplicity of stars.
Everything you want to take home for your Christmas dinner.
A host of stories.
A host of stories, and I'll even make one or two up.
We shall dig the dirt.
We shall certainly dig the dirt, and then we'll rub it all over ourselves and roll around it for a quarter of an hour.
I shall look forward to every single moment of it.
I certainly won't, but let me tell you one thing. These records are the best you're ever going to hear.
Jonathan Ross, his My Top 10 programme on Radio 1 in stereo this Saturday at 2 o'clock. Useful. Reception Records recording artist, This Poison in session, and that one's called Question Mark. And now from Double Delight and DJ Slice Nice, this is Party Jump. Oh, honestly, what have I done?
We can make the party jump, come on, bust it. We can make the party jump, come on, bust it. We can make the party jump. Party is jumping. We can make the party jump. Party is jumping. So is it true about what they say about you? About me? That you can rock a party all night through. That it's female MCs. We came here tonight just so we can please. We're like a generator. Let's make it work. And if you interrupt us, you're bound to get hurt. You've been injected. With the royal rhyme. So step aside, Clyde. It's about that time. There's only one way to play it. And we came here to say, it was all mine. Once you did, you know we made it. There are no obligations when you're feeling sensation. Just going up the spine and relieve all the tension. With the rhymes that you hear from my sophisticated voice. You think this was a joke? You wanna rejoice. So do you or don't you? Will you or won't you? Step online while we proceed and watch my CD destiny as we lead. So grab the mic, it's MC Fever. Step on the stage, 'cause we're ready to please ya. But wait, don't get excited, we can't start yet. Why not? 'Cause I believe we haven't quite met yet. Haven't quite met yet. Haven't quite met yet. We can make the party jump, come on, bust it. We can make the party jump, come on, bust it. We can make the party jump. Party is jumping. We can make the party jump. Party is jumping. I'm an MC to the people I scream. This is the real thing, you know what is in between. This is that bending beats and my suspended rhymes. You know it's original, it's in line, 'cause I'm neutral. An MC with potential, I can rock on TV and even call this busted. I'm like an atom, I'm molecular mode. A cold MC, as I was told. I'm like H2O, I go with the flow. And for soft MCs, they're sure to blow like the wind. Wine, you're not this kind of MC like me. It's hard to find. 'Cause while I move, MCs that do. Their days in a maze. And the way that I feel, that's fine. I remember other rappers I tame. This is the style of the rappers which they can claim. I'm bringing out the all of design kind of feeling. Makes me very happy 'cause as you I'm dealing. Take you on a journey on Actually, what more can I ask? I got a key chum on top for a cat. He don't play hopscotch from one to another. He's not a player, baby. He can be my only lover. We can make the party jump. Come on, bust it. We can make the party jump. Come on, bust it. We can make the party jump. The party is jumping. We can make the party jump. The party is bust jumping. It. Bust it.
Well, indeed it was. And don't forget that the Festive 50 starts on Tuesday night on this programme, along with some of the better sessions of the year. That was Double Delight and DJ Slice Nice from Brooklyn, New York, and Party Jump. And this must be the last night from the Midnight Choir, their debut session for us, and a good one. This is called Country Dream Clown. And that the last tonight from the Midnight Choir in session, their country blues effort, in a sense, and Country Dream Clown is the title of it. And from Barmy Army, this is the B-side of the record, although I have to confess I'm rapidly becoming fond of it. England 2, Yugoslavia 0. Come on, you've got another 13 and a half minutes. Yes, that's... and then the news after that, of course. Barmy Army, the B-side of the record, is not yet in the shops, I think. People keep writing and asking me about this, and it's been around, quite clearly, or the other side of it has, anyway, for a year and a half now. That's sharp as a needle, of course, but shortly, I hope, very, very soon. England 2, Yugoslavia 0 is the title of that side of it, though. And as I say, on Tuesday we start broadcasting this year's Festive 50, and for me, anyway, the most intriguing Festive 50 in 2 or 3 years. They're beginning to become a bit repetitious, and this has its repetitious aspects, as you'll find out, but at the same time, it's intriguing. I know that's contradictory, but you'll find out what I mean if you listen to it. As I say, it all starts on Tuesday. In the last one, we had 4, if I remember rightly, from the wedding present, and 7 from the fall, and 7 from these folks.
Mystical time zone, and I missed my bed, and I soon came home. They said there's too much caffeine in your bloodstream, and a lack of real spice in your life. I said, leave me alone, because I'm alright now. Surprised to still be on my own. Strain of the pain again. Rush and the push and the land that we stand on is ours. It has been before, so it shall be again. And people who are uglier than you and I, they take what they need and just leave. Oh, but don't mention love. I hate this pain and the strain all over again. And the push and the land we stand on is ours. It has been before, so why can't it be now? And people who are weaker than you and I, they take what they want from life. Oh, but don't mention love. No, don't mention love. And the push and the land we stand on is ours. The youth may be gone, but you still look nice. So phone me, so phone me, phone me, phone me.
This one is hard. I think it's Lavender's Blue.
Hey, ha, hey, ha, hey,
those are the Hickoids again, and that was called Yeehaw, as you might imagine. Before that, of course, it was Los Smiths, as they're known to generations of Spanish-speaking Smiths lovers, and A Rush and a Push, and The Land Is Ours. And here's the last tonight from This Poison. It'll all work out. And I hope it will, I hope it will. This Poison, the last one from them in session. It'll all work out. And there we are with Rick Astley at number 2 with When I Fall in Love, and Nat King Cole at number 20 with When I Fall in Love. So I thought I'd end this week's programme with a version of When I Fall in Love. This one's taken from 1960 and features Dave Bailey on drums, Mundell Lowe guitar, Milt Hinton bass, Jimmy Jones piano, Art Farmer trumpet, Harold Ashby tenor saxophone, and Ben Webster tenor saxophone. It's from an LP called The Soul of Ben Webster. I think you'll like this, actually. Andy did when I played it to him earlier on this evening. When I Fall in Love.
Something dreamy for all you night owls out there. Oh boy, that's Ben Webster anyway, in a version of When I Fall in Love, ending tonight's programme, in which you heard sessions from Midnight Choir and This Poison. Back on Monday night with lots of good things, said he rather vaguely, and the Festive 50 on Tuesday night. Coming up shortly, Midnight News Summary. Andy Kershaw at this time tomorrow night, of course, don't forget. And that's it, really. So thanks very much for listening. Good night.
Radio 2.
The news at midnight. This is Richard Clegg. The health service is to get more money. Michael Heseltine has attacked the poll tax, and Bobby Frankham has been banned from boxing. The government is injecting an extra £90 million into the health service for the current year. A further £700 million is being provided next year. The Health Minister, Mr Tony Newton, told MPs that as far as the next few months were concerned, monitoring had revealed a shortfall in income.
This is clearly unacceptable, and we have concluded that in order to meet the immediate problem, it would be right to increase health authority cash limits throughout the United Kingdom by almost £90 million, of which £75 million is for English health authorities.
Mr Newton explained that a further £13 million would be allocated as a direct result of the hurricane damage in October. But none of this satisfied the opposition. Mr Robin Cook from the Labour front bench said the extra money was welcome, as a drowning man clutches at straws.
May I point out to him that the monitoring arrangements of just about everybody else in the health service noticed this months ago. And if those monitoring arrangements have identified that shortfall in income, why is it for weeks since this House resumed after the summer recess, he and the Prime Minister at that dispatch box have denied there was any shortfall in income?
Official figures show that government revenue exceeded spending by more than £1.5 billion in November. Receipts from the privatisation of BP and high tax revenues both contributed to the surplus. Our economics editor says there's likely to be an overall surplus on the public sector borrowing requirement this year, giving the government scope for further increases in public spending and income tax cuts in the budget next spring. The former Conservative Environment Secretary, Mr Michael Heseltine, has launched a strong attack on the government's plan to replace the rates with a community charge or poll tax. The charge is one of the most controversial measures in the government's programme, and Mr Heseltine is one of a number of Conservative backbenchers who say they won't support the government when the Commons votes. Speaking on the first day of a two-day debate on the bill, Mr Heseltine insisted the charge would hit the poor.
Responsibility for the poll tax will now be targeted precisely and unavoidably at the government that introduced that tax. That tax will be known as a Tory tax.
Earlier, the Environment Secretary, Mr Nicholas Ridley, said he believed the bill would provide the best system to replace the rates. The community charge, he said, was fair, workable and above all accountable. But Labour's environment spokesman, Dr John Cunningham, said that if the bill were the government's flagship, then it had sunk. And news just in, one person has been killed and a number of others injured in a bomb attack in Northern Ireland. It's understood 2 grenades were thrown at houses on the outskirts of Londonderry. The area has been sealed off and a number of families have been moved out of their homes. With 2/3 of the votes counted in the South Korean presidential elections, the ruling party candidate, the former Army General No Tae-hoo, now appears assured of victory. He's in the lead by a wide margin over his 2 main opposition challengers. The opposition has accused the government party of widespread ballot rigging, and a large number of civil rights groups are thought to be planning a mass demonstration to protest at cheating at the polls. The biggest mafia trial ever held in Italy has ended, with heavy sentences being passed on many of the 450 defendants. 13 mafia chiefs were jailed for life, including the so-called Pope of the Sicilian mafia, who'd been accused of ordering 78 murders. The boxer Bobby Frankham has been banned from boxing indefinitely after punching the referee at the end of a fight at Wembley a fortnight ago. The Boxing Board of Control announced tonight that his licence had been withdrawn. The ban could mean that Frankham never boxes again. The board secretary, Mr. John Morris, was at the ringside during the fight and saw the crowd disturbances that followed it.
All episodes like this damage any sport. Let's hope that now people will realise that we mean business, that we want the sport to be safe for everyone, particularly the people that pay and come and watch shows, and they will be able to sit and enjoy shows, and we won't get a repetition of this kind of event.
The weather. It'll generally be mild and quite misty in places with some rain, and it'll become mainly dry. However, further rain is expected to spread from the southwest later in the night and during tomorrow. And that's the news at 5 minutes past 12.
Radio 2, Brian Matthew.
Hello again. My next round midnight guest tonight will be actress Josette Simon, currently appearing as Isabella in Measure for Measure and Stratford-on-Avon. And finally, we talk about great moments in movies. But next, a few rotten moments with Elton John.